Well, Donald Trump has arrived in Miami ahead of his court appearance tomorrow. He's expected to be formally indicted over his handling of classified documents. Joining us live now, former White House Chief of Staff and consultant at Bondi Partners, Mick Mulvaney. Mick, good to see you. Thanks for your time. So how significant is tomorrow when stacked up against all of the other court appearances or court notices or legal challenges that Donald Trump is facing at the moment?
Or everything else. Pete, it's good to see you. This is a serious one. There's no question about it. This is very different than the charges that were filed against him several weeks back in state court in New York City when he was charged with something related to the hush money payments paid to the porn star who supposedly had an affair with him. This is serious. This is the Department of Justice. It's the FBI investigation. There's over, I think, 500 years of potential jail time behind some of these challenges. This is a different kettle of fish entirely, and my guess is Trump, while he's trying on the surface at least to make it look just like the issue in New York, everybody knows this one's different.
Okay, so what's so serious about this one? Because, I mean, yes, you've got those comments from his former Attorney General, Bill Barr, who said that Donald Trump's toast, but I've spoken to a few people who say, look, the documents that were found, it doesn't account to much more than, library books being late to be returned to a library. So in that sense, it's not so significant. So just explain why you think this is so bad.
That is the angle that is being discussed here. That's sort of the angle that Trump is playing, that there's no harm and there's no foul. And I think that might play politically. I think it's one of the reasons you're still seeing Trump do very well in the polls, but it doesn't necessarily work legally. Keep in mind, as is so often the case in this country, it's probably the same in yours, it's usually not the crime that gets the perpetrator in trouble, it's the cover-up. Go back to the days of Richard Nixon and Watergate. It wasn't really the break-in that got Nixon kicked out of office or resigned. It was the cover-up for that, and that's what this is. They've got him on obstruction of justice, of not giving back the documents when he should have. If he had given back the documents, Pete, when they found out he had them, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Mike Pence has been cleared of the same thing. We expect Biden to be cleared, but it's that cover-up that makes this one different.
Right, so, and that's worth reminding our audience too. I mean, it's not uncommon for ex-presidents to have confidential documents at their house or wherever they live after they leave the White House.
That's absolutely right. Obama had it, Vice President Biden had it, Vice President Pence had it. And we don't know the nature of the documents. Keep in mind, the indictment does identify the documents generally. It says, for example, that they deal with nuclear information or military information, and they deal with the classification of the documents. Some of them are top secret, which is very serious. Others are confidential, which are not very serious. But we don't really know what the documents are.